Let's take a 12 News legal deep dive into this crash there in the Potomac River. Defense attorney Hector Diaz of Diaz Law joins us now. And of course, we've got to start by saying our thoughts, of course, are with these victims and their families. But we're moving now into the legal thing. All right. So if it does turn out that, say, the military was at fault here, we don't know yet. Right. But if that Black Hawk was in an airspace it shouldn't have been, or it hit that plane, can these victims or the families of the victims then go after the federal government?
Potentially. There's an act that allows private citizens to bring enforcement actions or civil enforcement actions against the military. Again, very difficult, very complex. You have to lay a certain standard. You have to show that there was negligence and that the military person was operating in the course of his military duty. And you have to demonstrate that there was some negligence on part of that military person. And so, if this was a situation where, say, the helicopter malfunctioned because of some unforeseeable circumstance, that might absolve the military of some kind of issue. But yes, I mean, private citizens have the ability to look at the military and say, you made a mistake here, and we've suffered, whether it's some personal injury, and that we should be compensated for. But the military isn't the only, agency that's going to be
right. So let's talk about American Airlines, and let's also talk about the FAA, the air traffic controllers, as well. All right. So let's say it turns out that the airline had some culpability here.
Yeah. Well, that happens all the time, where, there are these kinds of, whether it's Boeing or whatever, airline that's having, or airplane that's having some kind of mechanical issue that should have been foreseeable. Those lawsuits are, absolutely, you're going to have lawyers lining up to look at these issues in terms of whether it was the actual airplane or was it pilot error. And that's, on American Airlines potentially. The FAA, an extension of the government, again, a private citizen could bring an action against the government, but that's under the Tort Claims Act. That's another, you have to go through certain hurdles. You have to demonstrate that there was here, on behalf of the FAA, some malfeasance, some issue, which again, we've heard press briefings that, there is some issue with the FAA, that the staffing had, potentially been substandard, whether or not the person who was the controller on this specific date had the ability to do their job. We're hearing reports that they were doing two jobs at once. And so, the NTSB, who is an independent agency, is going to spend a lot of time reviewing this. I know we heard, this reporter indicating it's a 30-day report, but
for the initial report.
For the initial, this is going to take some time before you see lawsuits being sent out. Right. But I can imagine that families are just grieving right now and want answers. Right. And sometimes they turn legal very quickly. Yeah,
and no matter what happens in a courtroom, we won't bring their family members back.
Absolutely.
Hector Diaz, thank you so much for joining us. Diaz Law. Tram.